You're welcome again to my channel. My name is Afolake. Very quickly on today's video, I'm going to be sharing a few ways in which you can constantly keep yourself in check from chasing shadows or trying to boost your egos in the guise of chasing success and trying to be happy. There's just a myriad of cycles that go around, especially with us as immigrants that have moved abroad. So, if you're new to my channel, you're welcome. I share immigrant tips that helps new immigrants to thrive in a new country like Canada. I share guidelines, I share nuggets about job assistance, I share tips about house hunt. I share so many things that help you to transition from your country to Canada and begin to integrate better as a new immigrant. So if you're new here, do hit the subscribe button and continue to follow my channel. Keep watching, guys. The number one thing I'm going to talk about is, as immigrants, we need to free ourselves from the constant dissatisfaction that we get here in Canada. There's so much that go on as immigrants, and we just keep getting confused and confused, trying to get into the right track because of our back home experiences. We've all achieved heights, we've achieved so many things. But in this rat race of trying to achieve more, we have lost so many things to ego, to pride, to wanting to achieve so much, and then forget the place of us here living a low profile life as immigrants. Some immigrants are very competitive. They are always looking for the next best thing to achieve. Even if you're earning a six-figure, a seven-figure income, there's always something better for you to achieve. It's like a rat race. You're buying a new house, you're buying a new car, you're moving into a new neighborhood, you're trying to achieve great heights, you're doing or learning new skills. These are good achievements, but if that is what is actually chasing you or driving you, then you begin to look at other immigrants like yourself and begin to compare notes. You've been here 1 year or you've been here 3 years, and you see others that have come less than that before you and achieve heights, then you begin to get pushed to do odd things because you want to be like them. You're measuring your standard against somebody else. This is ego driven and it should be cut off from us as immigrants. Success is totally not equal to happiness, because as we begin to achieve these heights, we think all these things will bring us happiness. We begin to compete. We are always looking behind us and looking ahead of us at the achievements of others to checkmate our own achievement. These are the things that drive us backwards. They don't help us at the end of the day as immigrants. They don't help us achieve what we need to achieve. Everybody has their race to run. Everybody has their achievements to get to. And as soon as you begin to know how to begin to walk your own pace without comparing yourself with others, without making them the subject of what drives you or being competitive by what others are achieving, that helps you to be able to live a low profile life. Think about it. When you buy a new iPhone or an Android phone, there's this buzz about the new features, there's this buzz about what it can do faster than the old phone that you have. And then you become so glued to it, trying to understand how it works. You're so fascinated by the good features that it brings your way. And a few months down the line, you lose that attachment, you lose that vibe because it is no longer new. You've almost understood everything that comes with the phone. Then you're looking at the next best thing to achieve. You're trying to look at the next phone that is out in the market, or you're looking at the next laptop, or you're looking at the next place to buy your house, or you're looking at the next best car to buy. And these are the things that drive us as immigrants. I know that even back in our home country, we are also driven. It's good to be driven. It has helped us so much in our workplaces here to pursue after our heart what we really want to do. But if it comes to you being ego driven and trying to achieve a dream that is really not yours, or that is driven out of selfish intent or trying to be able to be like somebody else, then that is really detrimental to your progress and your well-being here in Canada. So we need to live a low profile to be able to esteem ourselves as immigrants, because hey, these things don't give us satisfaction. They are just temporary satisfaction, and then the next thing, you're looking for something better. The next thing I'm going to talk about is that when you chase dreams that are not your own, it brings you to losing your own freedom of choice, because now it is no longer your choice. You're living other people's dreams. You're trying to achieve what you're not. You're representing what you are not. Some immigrants don't really have what it takes in their bank account, and because it's a credit system, they begin to spend what is not theirs, and they live a life that is not exactly representing who they are. They live on credit, they live on debt, and hey, you have cars that you're paying debt on, you have mortgage that you're paying debt. Yes, we all live on mortgage debts, but I'm talking about extravagant debts that would make you not, you honestly know what your bank account looks like, and you know what you look like from the outside, which is really not relative to exactly who you are. So we need to be able to live a life of freedom, a life of authenticity, a life that gives us the courage to be able to be who we are. We need to learn to say no. I have come to a state in my life that, look, I don't follow after what people say. I don't follow after what people do. I live my life as it is. So if I am not able to buy lunch when I go out to lunch with friends, I don't feel guilty. I don't feel because I don't spend, then I feel out of the park. No, you must be able to say no. You must come to the time in your life whereby you probably are saving for a goal, you are saving for an investment, you have things that you're doing, and then those expenses are not what is in your budget. They are not there for you to spend. So you don't feel guilty because somebody else is doing something and you are not. So you must come to a point in time so that you don't live a life that is not authentic. You must be authentic as a person. You must be authentic. People must know you as who you are. And that means that as immigrants, we need to show the person that we are, the real person we are. We shouldn't be living lives that are not ours. We shouldn't be trying to impress people. We shouldn't be living lives that make people feel that we are somebody, whereas we know exactly who we are from our bank account, in our homes, in our private places. We know exactly who we represent. Meanwhile, from the face of people, what you're presenting out there is totally false. Some of us will work, earn the money and spend it. We don't have a good culture of how to invest money. We don't have a good culture of how to save money. We just spend. Most of us will say, yeah, the money is not enough. We pay bills. Yes, but if you're also not being prudent in how you spend and how you save or how you invest, when you earn the 6 figures and the 7 figures, you still wouldn't be able to be prudent enough to be able to save and do other things that are important to you for your future. And that is why there's always this rat race of the money is not enough. We understand it is not, but how are you judiciously using what is not enough? I always say to people, money can never be enough. As soon as you have more than what you currently earn, your desire or your want increases. Naturally, your sphere of influence increases. People associate with people that earn more. Your group of friends change. Your association change. Your taste change. You probably at that time will think, okay, let me change my car. You probably at that time will say, okay, let me begin to eat 2 times in a week at X restaurants. Your taste begins to match up with your income, and then your savings, your investment is thrown out of the bucket again because you are not disciplined. So immigrants, we need to be able to be real to ourselves. We need to be self-disciplined. We need to understand that we honestly need to live low profile lives, because back in our home country, we don't there's always somebody to take care of us. There's always somebody. People say that, look, in your old age, you always have somebody to take care of us. At the end of time here in Canada, if you don't have like a life insurance, if you don't have, savings against your retirement, it is difficult for you to retire. Here, you hardly see, those that are older stay home with their children in their homes. Everybody is independent, chasing their dreams, chasing their wants, chasing things that it's totally different from Nigeria, for instance, that I can have my aged mother stay with me, or my aged mother-in-law stay with me while I am still working, and then I have people that can care for them, that is totally not disrupting my life. But here, everything is like a rat race. So no parent will have the liberty to come sit with their children at home, because they'll probably not let them be able to chase their dreams. So things are totally different. I hear people say, yes, if I don't save, or if I don't have investment, or if I don't have a life insurance, or if I don't have anything to save up to retirement, does it mean I'm not going to have something to fall back on? Yes, you will still have something to fall back on, because the government will have something to give to you, but will that take care of you for you as you retire? Will that help you? Look at what you spend on a monthly basis. It might trickle down. You might probably, at that time when you are winding down, decide to sell your house, decide to move into a smaller house, because you also want to downsize, and then your expenses are low. But will that still sustain you with your life as you retire? So we need to look at this in perspective and begin to reflect on our life as immigrants, and cut down on that high profile life, cut down on that egocentric life. Let's live a low profile life. Let's live a life that is modest, a life that thinks about the future. And talking about this, it's also important that you ask yourself, what do you spend your money on? Are you investing? If you're not investing, are you building more skills? Are you learning more trades? Are you looking at other ways to earn more money? Are you diversifying your intellect in ways that you can earn you more money? If you're not doing this, and you're just splurging or buying designer wares or buying designer items that fulfills the temporary urge, and then later it winds down and you're looking at this next thing to buy, then it's not helping you as immigrants. We've done that in the past in Nigeria, and I think it's high time we looked back and begin to change how we interact with our lifestyle here in Canada. I say to people, Canada's life is different. Nobody looks at you whether you're carrying a Gucci bag. Nobody looks at you whether you're wearing a designer hat or you're wearing a designer shoe or belt. Everybody's on flip-flop, or on canvas, on jeans, on t-shirts, and life is good. Even your directors are looking as casual as possible to work. So who are you trying to impress? I know some cultures are so bent on designers. It's good, we've all done that. I have a few. But is it important for investments? What's the return of value for you? Is it just a feeling, or are you trying to be ego-driven to say, yes, I have iPhone 16, I have iPhone 22, or I have a Gucci or Ferragamo bag or shoe or belt or glasses? Hey, we need to reprioritize our lifestyle. And this will help us to be able to live on a slim budget while we're preparing ourselves for a lifestyle that is low-key in the future. The third thing I'm going to talk about is that you must avoid survival mode and embrace simplicity of life as immigrants here in Canada. A lot of people, Canadians, everybody, most people rather, a lot of people live from paycheck to paycheck. Whether you're paid bi-weekly, or you're paid monthly, or you're paid, half monthly. This is not a good sign for you as immigrants. Well, immigrants or Canadians, as long as you're living on a survival mode. So if you don't get a paycheck, or if you probably lose your job, then it comes to a point whereby you can't afford to pay your bills. We are always told that we should have like a safeguard net of about 3 to 6 months. So if you lose your job, you are still able to live your life the way you used to within that period before you get something else. Or even if you try to minimize how you live within those periods, knowing that yes, things are going down because of the income that is not frequently coming in, it's at your own prerogative. So you're not living large, you're not living fat. And in these days where finding a job seems a hot cake, you don't want to be in that mode where you are constantly surviving and in need of resources. In this day and age, people are constantly worried about finances. They are worried about their money, how to spend, how to make money, how to increase wealth. If there's some teaching that is telling you you're going to be making $1 million in a week, people are open to it. Everybody wants to make more money. But how are you appropriating these resources to your own advantage? That's the main thing. You must understand that making wealth is as important as keeping the wealth and not living in a survival mode. Because if you make wealth and you splurge and you keep spending without having a backup, or you're not saving, or you're not making good use of that income, or restreaming it into other multiple income streams, then you're living on a survival mode. Because hey, when something goes down, where would you be? So you need to look at this in perspective. Everybody needs to be able to look at this. And when I say I'm talking to immigrants, I'm also speaking to everybody in general. Because look, if you don't spend wisely, then you're living on survival mode. And if you don't have other streams of income, or if you're not thinking of how money will begin to work for you in other ways, then you're in survival mode. Like I said, don't wait until you probably lose your job or something drastic happens to your finance before you start thinking of a plan B. You need to look at avenues whereby you can have other streams that complement your main source of income. If you earn more, there's a tendency to want to spend more. There's a tendency to increase your appetite to spend more. That is a natural state. But you must also look at what are you investing in. It must also be in proportion. So look at all these things in perspective. Don't just keep now go and increase your gym subscription, or increase another subscription, or add some subscription to your car, or now get another insurance to your home, or get another, you're adding bills on bills because you feel you have extra money, or you got a bonus, or you got another job that gives you extra perks, and you feel you can just add, then you're back to status zero. At the end of the day, you're still living on a survival mode, because if that money doesn't come in, then you don't have something to spend. So guys, if you want to live a peaceful life here as immigrants, you need to be able to think about how your finances work. You don't want anxiety, or you don't want to be living another man's life, then you need to live a modest life. You need to be able to live within your budget, below your budget. In fact, there's a way you have to structure your 100% of your income in such a way that helps you plan. I've said this a couple of times, financial discipline is very, very important. If you are not financially disciplined, then you never have a backup. When you spend and you have zero left, you are not a good financial administrator of your money. You need to be able to know how to apportion your money in such a way that you have savings, you'll be able to apportion it that helps your finances. So living a modest life, not living an extravagant life, not trying to have everything, not trying to buy everything, not trying to want everything, is important for you as immigrants. So you don't have to. I keep asking myself too, in the past, when I buy something out of, yes, I just want to say that I appreciate myself for the hard work I've done. It's good to do that. So when you do that, even look at it in retrospect, and you have those things, you are probably just driven by that for a few days. Depends on the item. If it's a phone, maybe a couple of months. If it's a handbag for ladies, you don't take it every day. The days you take it, you feel proud and feel girly. If it's a pair of shoes, yes. And subsequently, after a few months, that desire or that want begins to trickle down, because you probably satisfied it, and then there's another waiting to be satisfied. And you keep craving, you keep craving, you keep craving. That does not help your financial discipline. It does not help you to live a modest life. It does not help you as an immigrant. So you need to look at all of this in perspective to help you live a modest and a non-egocentric life. Because most of these things that we do, really, as Black people, it's ego driven. We want people to notice us. We want people to see what we are carrying, or what we're wearing, or how, which car we stepped out of. Who cares? Who really cares? As long as you're living a good life, as long as you're not in need of the basics: food, shelter, clothing, you're under a roof, you're eating well, you're, who cares? But you know, those are extra perks that even if you do away with them, nobody cares, as long as you're living a good life. So begin to reprioritize your lifestyle. You begin to live your own life without living another person's life, or trying to impress somebody else, or trying to live a life that other people, you just want accolades, right? Which only satisfy for the moment. So ask yourself this question: who am I living my life for? And answer genuinely in your heart. Because hey, we keep running from pillar to post. We increase our anxiety because we need to pay our bills. There's so much anxiety, especially when it comes to bills in this part of the world. There's so much anxiety that we can pretty much give ourselves peace of mind by living on a modest budget. Honestly, and that helps you in totality. You see, and that's why most people can't even take breaks. Most people work around the clock. Most people work different shifts, multiple shifts, in fact, to be able to keep earning money just to pay those bills. And with those increases, you really don't see those margins, because they are still, the difference or the margin between the income and their expenses is still very slim. But as long as you can have a wider margin of your income and then a very minimal expense, then it helps you to take breaks, it helps you to go on vacation, it helps you not to think about the money. You know, you don't have that concern about the bills, because you know you have money to take care of them. But as soon as you begin to have very slim gap between your income and your expenditure, then you're in trouble. So you need to be able to look at that, and don't always want to increase everything that you have because you have an increase in pay, or because you got a bonus, you want to upgrade your car, you want to increase one expense, or you want to, you know, get something higher because you have a minimum increase in pay. That already would begin to complicate your life, because it doesn't give you comfort, it doesn't give you rest of mind, because you will continue to chase to pay those bills. So finally, I would say that you must live authentic lives as, you know, immigrants here in Canada, because that's what attracts people to you. If you live a life that is not authentic, just based on, you know, the accolades you get, or just based on what people commend you for, then that is not an authentic life. You're just living a life that's just massages your ego a bit, because you have done some things, or because you're wearing some things, or because you just bought some things, and that doesn't help you as immigrants. You don't need validation for you to be who you are. Just live your modest and your simple life, and just continue to live your low profile life, because this helps you totally to stay satisfied. I hope this has helped one immigrant or another. If this has helped you, please click the like and subscribe button. Share this video to as many immigrants that are running from pillar to post to be able to make ends meet, so that you can help them stay focused in this new land. See you on another video. Bye for now.